I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors, and I sure do hope that you've been enjoying a good week. It's time for the special Friday edition of Helping Seniors Updates. And today we have the privilege of continuing along on this Friday, October 16th, with our good friend Vicki Moore with CarePlus and Humana. Those guys are like experts when it comes to Medicare type of plans. But the more important thing for today is it's time for the Art of Healthy Living series. This is a great series, Vicki. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Carrie. I'm excited to be back here. I think this is our fourth in our series, so I've been having a great time sharing some great information with you and everybody on the Helping Seniors of Brevard website, and that's tuning in to us.
Yes, yeah, and so appreciate you taking the time to share these important messages with us. And also, I wanted to thank you again. You were so kind to come out on the Saturday when we did our Helping Seniors of Brevard car raffle grand drawing last Saturday. We did some events from some of AJ Hire's, Boniface Hire's dealerships, and you were kind enough to come out to the Mazda store and be part of a Facebook Live thing that we were doing. As you know, we were talking about it, the event turned out very, very successful. It was a good fundraiser for Helping Seniors. Joe Steckler, our founder and president, said it was a record-setting event. It was the most that we'd ever been able to do in terms of helping seniors on a car raffle. So everybody is excited and gung-ho about getting started to work and set up for the 2021 car raffle. And so, again, thank you, Vicki, for being out there for that.
Well, you're so very welcome. I had a lot of fun doing it and being there, and it was just very exciting. And the only thing is I didn't win, but I did buy my tickets, so I certainly tried. And maybe next year. But I'm really excited for the man that did win. I think you said he got the Camaro, so that's really cool for him.
That's exactly right. We were telling the story. If you want to, you can go back and see the grand drawing live because we were out there actually outside. We couldn't have visitors to the American Muscle Car Museum that day because of COVID precautions, but we did the drawing on the grounds of the museum there in what they call the front portico. And so they tried to call the winner while we were on the broadcast, but weren't able to reach him. But they reached him like 20 minutes later, and he was, I'm 20 minutes away, I'll be right on down. He came down, he and his wife. They were so excited. They were at the Boniface Hire Chevrolet dealership on Monday to pick up the keys to a beautiful 2020 Chevrolet Camaro. So the story has a very good happy ending for Troy Darling of Indialantic, Florida. But it will have a good ending for everybody who is connected because Mark, again, has committed to opening up the museum as soon as he gets his volunteer staff all retrained for COVID times and feels it's safe to open up the museum to a larger crowd because, again, Vicki, last year we had well over 2,000 people. In fact, it was the record-setting event for the most number of people in the museum at any one time.
Oh,
So, and I'm sure this year will be no different. So we're working on getting that date. So please do save your Helping Seniors car raffle tickets because each one of those is an admit one. So if you buy a 5-pack, it's you and 4 of your friends or however, or bless somebody with it or however you want to do it. But we'll be announcing those dates as soon as we have them. So we're excited about that. And again,
right.
a very big thank you to everybody who supported because without it, Vicki, like we've talked about before, people just assume nonprofits, get money from government grants or things like that. It just really doesn't work that way. It is through the support of the community, and this is one great way that the community has stood behind Joe and the work of helping seniors. So I'm
Right.
excited about that.
Yeah, I'm
So,
so glad that it turned out so well. And, I've never been to the Muscle Car Museum, and I've never actually I hadn't bought the tickets in the past. So I was super excited to do that this year. I did do the 5 and did it online. So I just I think a day ago, I got in the mail my tickets for the Muscle Car Museum. So I can't wait to find out when when I get to go. So very fun.
that's gonna be so good. So thank you again. So in the Art of Healthy Living series, Vicki, we have covered a number of great topics already. I'm finding these fascinating. Last week I thought was particularly appropriate because with everybody starting to get all this mail in their mailboxes about open enrollment and things like that, you doing that Medicare 101 talk was, I think, really right on point, both for people who might be turning 65 and this is their first time getting into the whole taking a look at what their options are. But even for people who have maybe done this for quite a while, I think one of the things you left me with was an understanding that even what you did the prior year, you really need to take a solid look because things may have shifted around with your medicines and what's covered and formulary and things like that, right?
Definitely. I can't emphasize how important it is every single year to look at your options because the plans do change from year to year, from company to company. There's some new offerings in the market. Five-star affiliation, 5-star plans have changed.
Mm-hmm.
We actually are super excited because CarePlus for the third year in a row is a 5-star plan once again.
Yay.
And yes, great news. We just found that out recently. And then there's some plans that maybe were 5-star plans that aren't any longer. So there's been some shifting around. So we're excited that, again, we've got that 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And so it's important to look, and I'm not going to just talk on our company, but all companies. There's new product offerings, there's new benefits, networks can expand, networks can change. So yes, so important to take a look at that and talk to somebody, whether it's me or somebody else, that knows Medicare as well and knows the plans. It's very important to make those comparisons.
Well, I'll vote for you. If people do want to get in contact with you about those questions, how do they do that? What's a good number to reach you? And then we'll go a little bit farther into the art of healthy living.
Okay, so yes, I am available, especially this time of year. Anytime you want to give me a call, my cell phone number is 321-272-0218. And I'll go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I was just going to say that one more time. It's 321-272-0218. I also do have a business Facebook page. You can find me, Vicki Moore. I think if you just were to Google Vicki Moore Insurance, it would come up. And then you can also, of course, call your office and speak to Kim, but I'll let you talk about that.
Right. So you can give a call on the Senior Information Helpline. That number is 321-473-7770, 321-473-7770. And I agree. It's a great way to do it. And take advantage of the expertise and knowledge that Vicki brings to this subject, just like you're bringing to all the subjects that we have in the Art of Healthy Living series. We were talking about, this is the fourth in the series, and we've covered I learned so much when you did the organic foods thing, because we see all these labels in grocery stores and we don't necessarily understand what it means. And the first one, that kind of our inaugural one, was boosting your mood with food, and particularly I thought that was really important that we do it the right way and the healthy way. And you had some really good tips on that. And today we're going to look into the habits of happy people. And I think I think this is going to be great fun. But I wanted to let you know, if you're just tuning into this and you missed any of those, the good news is you can reach right back, both on the Helping Seniors Facebook page or the YouTube page where we first broadcast those kind of live, but they're available to you, so you can go back and pick those up in case you missed any of these. And I really do want to encourage you to take a look. It's great material. But kind of with that as a starting point, Vicki, I'm gonna just turn it over to you and let you walk us through the habits of happy people. I think we're going to learn some good things today.
Okay, well, thank you, Carrie. And one thing I do want to add before I do get started is that there are worksheets that go along with each of these presentations, because in pre-COVID days, I used to do these in person. And so, you could follow along with the worksheet. So if, obviously I can't give that to you now as we are virtual, but if it is something that you're interested in, you could contact myself or contact Kim, and we can get that to you. So if that's something you would like to see, if you want a transcript of it or the worksheet that goes along with it, just let us know and be happy to share that with you. via email, or even if we need to drop it off to you. So, okay, but we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about, as Carrie said, habits of healthy people. And so just want to start off by saying, if you do hear of anything during today's class that inspires you to make some sort of health or medical change, such as changing an eating habit or starting an exercise program, make sure that you do talk to your doctor first. You may have questions or comments during the conversation, so please feel free. Well, you can actually, put it in the chat, and we will, get back with you. Or again, you could always give us a phone call. And lastly, as a reminder, if you do have any questions during today's class, just get back to us. We would love to field any questions that you do have. So we're going to start today's class by addressing some myths and truths associated with happiness. So the first thing, can you guess? What we're going to do is I will guess which statement on the screen is a myth or a fact. And let me get that going here for you. There we go. Oh, there I am actually. If you need. All right. So we're going to be talking about myths and facts about happiness, balancing the mind, the body, and the spirit, 7 habits of happy people, and finding what makes you happy. All right. So here's the first one. Happiness is something you are born with. So the question is that a myth or a fact? Well, I will tell you, it is actually a myth. So about half of your happiness is, well, some people believe that happiness is predetermined at birth. You either have it or you don't, but this isn't entirely true. According to a study published in Psychological Science, evidence suggests that about 50% of your happiness is at a set point, meaning it is preset by genetics and environment. But at the other 50% is within our power, so anyone can become happier with commitment and effort. All right, so our next one is older adults are less likely to be happy. Is that a myth or a fact? Carrie, you want to take a guess at that one?
I will say that that's a myth.
Okay, and I would say that you are correct on that one. It is a myth. Older adults are more likely to pay attention to what makes them happy now than maybe what they did, previously. Those young people are running around just maybe a little more carefree, and we've had enough time to kind of really decide what makes us happy and what doesn't make us happy. All right, so older adults are actually more likely to pay attention to what makes them happy now. The Harvard Study of Adult Development, one of the longest running studies on happiness, has followed 724 men since they were teenagers, way back in 1938. So researchers have found that as the subjects got older, they tended to focus more on what's important to them, and they didn't sweat the small stuff as much as they did when they were younger. In other words, older adults tend to realize life is short and it's important to do what makes you happy. All right, there's a strong link between happiness and close relationships.
I would think that's true.
Okay, you're correct. That is a fact. Connecting with other people is an automatic mood booster. The Harvard study of adult development has also found a clear association between happiness and close relationships like your spouse, your family, your friends. Connecting with others provides mental and emotional stimulation, making it an automatic mood booster. So isolation, on the other hand, is a mood buster. We will talk about that a little bit more later. So what is happiness? Happiness is a term people use to describe a range of positive emotions, including joy, pride, contentment, and gratitude. Finding happiness may involve nourishing all 3 parts of yourself: your body, your mind, and your spirit. Your mind, body, and spirit all work together to keep you feeling happy and healthy, and they're all connected with one another. So if one isn't being cared for, the others will suffer as a result. So body, it refers to your physical health and how you care for your body. This might be following a healthy diet, taking fitness classes, or getting routine checkups. Mind refers to your mental health and how you nourish your brain. This could be taking a class to learn more, doing a daily crossword puzzle, or talking to friends on the telephone. Spirit refers to your spiritual health and how you feel or how you feed your soul. You might do this by regularly attending a house of worship or by volunteering to help others. As we discussed at the beginning of today's class, a large portion of your happiness is up to you and how you choose to live your life. For the remainder of today's class, we're going to explore the 7 habits of happy people. So first, we'll look at how important it is to take care of your body by doing things like eating well and exercising. Then we'll talk about some ways to relax your mind so that you feel your best. We'll also talk about things that can ignite your spirit to give you meaning and purpose. From there, we'll discuss ways that you can keep things in perspective and focus more on the things that matter. We'll explore the power of staying connected and supported by others too, as well as ideas for creating the ideal social network. Having something to look forward to does wonders for boosting your mood. So we'll talk about setting some positive and realistic goals for yourself. And lastly, we'll talk about why it's helpful to view life situations optimistically but realistically. So habit number 1 is to take care of your body. Let's talk about 4 things you can do to help keep your body feeling its best. First, you want to stay active. According to the National Institute on Aging, physical activity can help you keep and improve your strength so you can stay independent, have more energy to do the things you want to do, improve your balance and prevent falls, prevent or delay lots of diseases, including heart diseases and diabetes, perk up your mood, and reduce feelings of depression, stress, and anxiety. Sleep better at night and reach and maintain a healthy weight. So your aim should be about 30 minutes of exercise per day, most days of the week. So next, you want to eat the right types of foods in the right amounts. So a low-fat diet with a wide variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. Whole grains and lean protein may help you feel your best and maintain a healthy weight. It's also important to get plenty of sleep. Most people, even older adults, need 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. So make sure you're making sleep a priority. Lastly, we want to focus on prevention. Make sure you get all of the screenings and the immunizations you need and that you have a good understanding of what that result means. Communicate openly and honestly with your doctor and ask him or her lots of questions if there is something you aren't sure about. Similarly, stay on top of the medications you're taking and learn about their side effects. All right, so the next one is habit number 2 is to relax your mind. So habit number 2 is to learn to relax your mind. Stress can have a powerful impact on your mental health. In fact, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, it can lead to anxiety and depression along with many other health problems. Managing stress isn't always easy, but there are some strategies that may help. First, you want to choose how to spend your time and energy. It's probably impossible for you to do everything that needs to get done, and that's okay. Try to prioritize the things on your to-do list and do the most important ones first. Don't waste too much time worrying about the things you didn't get to. They can wait until tomorrow. Next, remember to laugh. According to the Mayo Clinic, laughter and humor help people cope with stress because it causes your brain to release feel-good chemicals called endorphins, and it relaxes your muscles. So do things that make you laugh and do them often, like watching your favorite movie or television show. Lastly, daily relaxation techniques are quick ways to help decrease stress. Deep breathing, imagery, and meditation can all reduce stress, and they don't take a lot of time. Deep breathing is simply taking slow and controlled breaths to relax your body and mind and normalize your breathing rate. And imagery involves imagining sights and sounds and smells and taste and touch to create daydreams of sorts. So Carrie, let me ask you, do you do any of these things to help you relax your mind? Do you have any certain things that makes you laugh or?
Well, I do think laughter is the best medicine, and sometimes we all take stuff too seriously, and it's not hard to do when we live in COVID times. But we have to remember to smile and look at the little things along the way.
Right, I agree with you. Something that always brings a smile to my face is, I'm in a group text, well, several group texts, but with my family, which is my family's back in Indiana. And so it's, my kids and my sister and my brother-in-law, and we just send funny memes through the day. And
Yeah,
so that's just always a little something that, makes you laugh through the day. So,
that's good.
whatever it takes.
That's it.
Okay, so meditation is something else that uses intense concentration or reflection to relax the body and calm the mind. It might include reciting a positive mantra like I feel at peace, or to help the negative thoughts or feelings you have float away. And I think that is something that's really great. I honestly haven't used that as much, but I talk to a lot of people that use it in their daily lives, and I know it can make a big difference. So, but we're ready for our habit number 3, and that is to ignite your spirit. So, spirituality is a broad term, but in general, it usually involves a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves. According to the University of Minnesota, spirituality may be described as a spiritual experience as sacred or divine, or a deep sense of aliveness and interconnectedness. So for some people, spirituality is associated with religion or a place of worship, like the church or a temple or a mosque or a synagogue. But for others, it's tied to a personal relationship with a higher power or through connections to nature or art. So why does spirituality appear to have such a strong bearing on happiness? So first of all, it may provide meaning and purpose. It may offer guidelines for moral behavior and gives people a sense of where they're going and what is more important in life. Belief in the afterlife may give people hope and make them feel less alone in the world. It may also help some people cope with adverse situations, and prayer may help relieve stress. And it may bring some people much needed social interaction and support. People may be happier when they're around others who are supportive, like those in the religious community. So to practice spirituality, you reconnect with what you find meaningful in life and spend time identifying your beliefs and your values. Consider finding a quiet community for a sense of belonging and support. All right. Our next one is, actually, we're moving on to number 4, and that is to focus on, well, actually, I want to comment on that one. I think right now, especially in these times that we're in, these COVID times, I think that spirituality piece is super important. I think a lot of people do find comfort, no matter what it is that, they turn to for their spiritual outlet. So I think a lot of praying going on these days and things like that. So
I was going to tell you, I agree. If COVID and those things don't make you start to think on that level, I'm not sure what would.
right.
Actually,
No, I totally agree with you. Yes. Okay. So on to habit number 4, which is to focus on the big picture. All right. So when life gets you down, take a step back and think about what is most important. Try to keep things in perspective. This means you are looking at the whole picture and seeing things in the proper relation and proportion to everything else. Let's talk about how we can do this. So try not to waste energy worrying. Many of the things that you're worrying about in this moment won't matter at all a year from now. All right, I'm just going to say, let's cross our fingers that this COVID stuff, we're not going to have to worry about in a year from now. But
absolutely.
yeah. And remember, things rarely happen the way we think they're going to. So learn how to roll with the punches and appreciate what each moment has to offer. So one thing, if you're out in the audience, that we could do, I'm just going to throw this out there, but at some point, you don't have to do it now, that you can take a minute to write down some things that you're worrying about or stressing about right now. So when you're finished, think about whether each of these things will matter all that much a year from now. If the answer is no, then all of that energy you're spending thinking about it is wasted. So keeping an attitude of gratitude may help also. And that's, I think, really good advice. And that's something, maybe take a couple minutes today to do that. Write down what is it that's stressing you out and what you're worrying about. And just really think about, is this even going to be something that affects me a year from now?
Mhm.
So I think that definitely can help put things into perspective. Um, so an easy way to do this is to write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. So this is something else. It can be important things or trivial things. Just be grateful for whatever pops into your mind. Would anyone like to, well, I'll just ask Carrie, actually. Carrie, would you like to share some things that you're grateful for today? Anything, or just one thing?
It's like a nice, pleasant day today. We have good weather, and we've been able to dodge a lot of hurricanes this year, and things are good.
Yeah, I agree with you. Today, I had an event early this morning out in Palm Bay, and it was a drive-by senior expo, which it was so pleasant. They had a band out there playing, and people just drove by in their cars and got to pick up goodies, and it was just a beautiful start to the day.
Yeah.
And so that's just, one little thing that I feel really grateful about, that I'm able to be part of those things and participate. And so that was really nice. And you're spot on with the storms. I think we had one of the highest number of storms named this season. And we're already in the Greek alphabet. I'm not sure where we are now, but we're so very lucky that we've not been affected by it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
all right. So if you're thankful for certain people in your life, tell them, send a card, give them a call, or go visit them in person. The benefits of expressing gratitude to others are twofold. You'll make their day brighter and your own. And again, I think this topic really speaks a lot, at least for me, to COVID, because, a lot of these things are probably affecting us.
Oh, yeah.
But, they're talking about visiting in person. Obviously we don't get to do that as much as we would have liked to in the past. I know things are loosening up a little bit, but this is a really good time to do those other things that maybe we didn't find time to do before, like sending cards or maybe calling more often or even sending texts. So, just all those little things can make a big difference. So helping other people can also be beneficial. Volunteering can make you feel useful and keep you mentally, physically, and socially active. In fact, a 2016 study found that volunteering in middle and older age is linked to good mental health and emotional well-being. And I agree with that. I think volunteering is just a really great way to help others and just, make yourself feel better. So, all right. So we've got our next habit. It's habit number 5, and that is to stay supported and connected. And so happy people tend to have rich and satisfying social connections. According to the Mayo Clinic, research has shown that a network of supportive relationships contributes to psychological well-being. This may be because being social helps with providing a sense of belonging, and it wards off loneliness. It increases our self-worth, and it offers feelings of safety and security. So in addition to helping with happiness, social relationships may keep you healthy. So according to the National Institute on Aging, social relationships are consistently linked with positive biomarkers of health. So keep in mind, negativity is contagious. Surround yourself with people that make you feel good about life and always try to do the same for others. If you have people in your life that are bringing you down, here are some things that you can try. You may not, don't share everything with negative people. If they repeatedly shoot down your ideas, keep them to yourself. Give them a compliment. Break the cycle of negativity by saying something uplifting about them. And stop the complaining. If the person is complaining about something, just don't listen. Interrupt if you have to, and quickly move on to a different topic. So I think we probably all had those people in our lives, and maybe some of us have even been guilty of being those people. But I think, even just presentations like this is just a reminder to keep it upbeat and keep it positive. Anything on that, Carrie?
No, I agree. I think life is short, and so with that, we should really make the most of every day. And people who get stuck in a complaining mode or thing, really, what's the point? Let's do the things that we're talking about here and enjoy the happy life.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%. All right. Well, we are on to number 6, habit number 6, and that is to set goals that you can look forward to. So goals give people meaning and purpose and a sense of accomplishment when milestones are achieved. However, the type of goals you set are very important. First, make goals that take you towards something positive rather than helping you avoid things you don't want. Spending lots of time thinking about what you don't want can be really draining. Instead, think about some positive outcomes that you do want. Along the same lines, your goals should be something you really want to achieve, not something someone else wants you to achieve. Next, you want to make goals that are realistic for you. So some things can't be changed, and dwelling on them won't help you be happier. So accept the things that you can't change and create reasonable goals to change the things that you can. Lastly, your goals should address roadblocks. Be proactive, not reactive. That means that you should have a plan in place for how you'll handle potential roadblocks successfully. Well, you don't have your handout. But if you did, and since you don't actually, you can, on a piece of paper, you can write down a goal that will give you something to look forward to. Take a moment to do this now, if you like. It could be planning a fun vacation or losing 10 pounds. Just make sure it takes you towards something positive and it's realistic for you. So even if you're not doing it right this second, right this minute, just think in your mind that that's something you definitely want to do. Make it a goal for today is to write down your goals so you have something positive to strive for, to look forward to. All right, so we are, go ahead, Carrie.
No, I was going to say it's all good advice. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's great. All right, so we are on to habit number 7, and that is to be optimistic, but also be realistic. So everyone falls on hard times, but how you respond to those situations has a big impact on your health and your happiness. It is important to recognize that pessimism does have some benefits. For example, it can come in handy when assessing risks, solving problems, and managing your health. So, however, research has indicated that optimism is better for your overall health and your happiness. A review published in 2012 in Aging Health found that older adults with an optimistic outlook were much more likely to have good health and live a longer life than their pessimistic peers. It isn't entirely clear why optimists experience health benefits. According to the Mayo Clinic, it may be because a positive outlook allows you to cope better with stressful situations, which reduces the harmful effects of stress on the body. So optimists may also live healthier lifestyles, such as exercising more and eating a healthier diet. So let's talk about some tips for staying optimistic. You want to start by practicing positive thinking. Positive thinking means you're making a conscious choice to believe that the best outcome will happen, not the worst. It doesn't mean you're ignoring the possibility of a negative outcome. You're just choosing to trust in a positive one. It's important to be realistic too. Some optimists are unrealistic, denying that bad things can or will happen. This is an unhealthy strategy. Instead, try to appreciate the positive parts of a situation without denying the negative parts. It's also a good idea to plan for worst case scenarios and take on your problems as challenges. Resiliency is another key characteristic of optimistic people. Resiliency basically describes your ability to cope with and bounce back from hard situations. Luckily, it is a learned skill, so everyone can take steps to learn how to be resilient. Now that we've covered the 7 habits to happiness, it's time for you to spend some time thinking about what makes you happy. And again, we don't have our handout, but without the handout on your piece of paper, you got some space, hopefully. If not, grab a new piece of paper. List 10 things that make you happy. They can be big things like taking a trip or visiting with your grandchildren, or they could be small things like taking a walk or watching a funny movie. Good days and bad days, joys and disappointments, each is part of a normal life. You don't always have control over the things that happen in life, but setbacks don't have to set you back for long. Don't be afraid to find what makes you happy. Get out there and put those 7 habits into practice so that you can love life to the fullest. So that is our presentation for the day, Carrie. And I'm going to just say, I think we've had some really great information shared, but I think this is my favorite one. Well, obviously I love Medicare, but this is my favorite one because it's one I think a lot of people struggle with sometimes. And it's just, I think it's always just a great reminder how important being positive is, and ways to train yourself to be more positive. And
Vicki, I was going to say, I think you have to actually be intentional about your happiness. And I think that's what's good about what you talked about and shared with today, because it is very easy when, there's a lot of stress right now. Everybody's concerned about political things. They're concerned about COVID things. There's so many things that people, and rightfully so, have a reason to be concerned and think, wow, what's going on around me? But I really do believe what you have shared in this message today is so important, because I think being happy is an intentional thing. We've always heard that expression, is the glass half full or the glass is half empty. And I think what you just shared about optimism is so important, because the fact is the glass is 50% full. That's the fact. But it is, to some degree, how you choose to look at that will enable you to either enjoy the situation or be miserable in it. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's always a whole lot more fun being in a place where you're happy and enjoying a situation than just being miserable. And sometimes you're forced to look really hard for what might make that situation enjoyable. But I really do think we come out better when we're able to do that.
right. No, I totally agree with you. And I didn't even hit on that, but yeah, this has been, I would say, a very unusual year, and probably a highly stressful year between the virus and going into this whole political situation, and that's just been high on everybody's mind. So definitely a lot of stress, no matter which no matter which way you're thinking about things. So just everybody keep in mind, just stay positive, just do the best that you can, be intentional, as Carrie said. So definitely agree.
Yeah, I like one of the ads I saw recently. I guess the Florida Tourism Department is starting to build back after COVID. And so they're reminding us here in Florida that we live in the state other people like to come to vacation to. So there are things that we talk about like that. But I wanted to thank you again for sharing this. I think the Art of Healthy Living series is so important, because what I think you're able to do is you're able to provide things that while they really cut to the chase of the things that will help us enjoy our golden years and the things that we're doing as seniors. And so much of this is getting information in the hands of people, and I think that's why the Art of Healthy Living is good. Now we're going to be back actually 2 weeks from today with the next edition of this. This happens every other Friday, and so we're gonna look forward. I know you've got, like you were telling me, you've got a bunch of great topics lined up on the road ahead, and these have all been terrific. If you didn't get to see Medicare 101, I want to suggest you go back and take a look at that. All of these, you can go back and see them, how we first aired them when we did them live on both the Facebook and the YouTube, and catch those because there's great information in the Art of Healthy Living. In fact, if you go to the YouTube channel, we actually created a little sub channel. They call them playlists on YouTube, but they're all lined up right there, and you'll be able to, if you missed one of those and you heard us talking about it, you can just go pull it right off the playlist and enjoy it. And I really believe you'll get some benefit out of it. So Vicki, I want to thank you for taking the time for all that you do. For, you're talking about volunteering, and here you were giving up your Saturday so you could come out and help us with the car raffle. So that was so appreciated on our part, and all the things that you do to keep this Art of Healthy Living series getting in front of seniors in Brevard County. It's important information. And I want to thank you again for bringing that.
Okay, well, Carrie, and again, thank you. I appreciate our whole organization appreciates the relationship that we've had with helping seniors of Brevard over the last several years. And this has just been really fun to be able to bring this series to you and to, to all of Brevard County. It's very fun, and hopefully some people are finding it informative. So I hope you tune in if you haven't.
I think so. Well, Vicki, thank you again. I hope you have a great weekend. And you, viewer, thank you for taking the time to join us for the Art of Healthy Living. On behalf of Joe Steckler, our president and founder, Kim Bernard, who is our education specialist, and all of the team on Helping Seniors, I want to say thank you for joining us today. And just real quick before we say goodbye, Vicki, would you give your phone number one more time in case somebody wants to follow up? Maybe they want to ask you about the handouts or maybe they have a Medicare question, whatever they want to give you a shout about. It'd be great if we could give that.
Sure. I'd love to do that. So again, my name is Vicki Moore, and I am with Humana and CarePlus. Our office is actually located at 4100 North Wickham Road. We are, unfortunately, the office is still closed right now due to COVID, but I and the rest of us agents within the office are accessible, and we are working hard to help people and educate people on Medicare. And you can reach me by my cell phone at 321-272-0218.
Good. One more time?
Yes, 321-272-0218.
All right. And with that, thank you, Vicki. And thank you, viewer, for joining us today.